The morning sunlight streamed through the restaurant's glass walls, painting the silver tables in gold. Yet beneath that calm glow, something was deeply wrong. A man in a charcoal suit sat quietly in the corner, unnoticed. His gaze followed a young waitress whose hands trembled as she balanced a tray, her eyes red from holding back tears. That man wasn't just any customer. He was David Hall, the founder and CEO of the Silver Spoon, a restaurant chain he'd built on warmth and respect. But lately, rumors of cruel managers and mistreated staff had reached his ears. To find the truth, he decided to go undercover. No cameras, no bodyguards, no name. Now, sitting among his own employees as a silent observer, David was about to witness something that would shake his faith in the very company he created. The waitress's name was Emma, 23, polite and fragile, like someone surviving on sheer will. Her uniform was spotless, her smile practiced, but her voice quivered every time she spoke. David noticed how often her eyes darted toward the manager, a tall, cold man named Victor, whose words cut sharper than knives. "Faster, Emma! You think customers come here to watch you cry?" Victor's voice echoed across the floor. Laughter died. Every eye turned. Emma whispered an apology, her face burning with shame. Moments later, a glass slipped from her shaking hand, crashing to the floor. Victor's rage exploded. "You're useless. Can't you do anything right?" he barked. Emma bent to pick up the shards with her bare hands as her fingers bled. None of her coworkers dared to help. David's fists clenched under the table. The restaurant that once stood for compassion had become a place of fear, but he stayed quiet. He needed to see more before revealing who he truly was. That night, as the last customers left, Emma disappeared into the restroom. Minutes passed, then 10. Concerned, David approached. From inside, he heard muffled sobs. He hesitated, then gently knocked. No answer. Through the crack of the door, he saw her sitting on the cold tiles, clutching a wrinkled hospital envelope. Her tears fell silently. The next day, David returned early. He saw Emma again, moving through her shift with quiet strength. During her break, she sat outside, staring at that same envelope. David finally approached her. "You okay?" he asked softly. Emma hesitated, then sighed. "It's my mom," she whispered. "She's sick. The hospital, they need money for surgery. I work double shifts, but it's never enough." Her voice broke. "My manager said if I keep crying at work, he'll cut my hours again." David felt a lump rise in his throat. Every word stabbed deeper. His company had forgotten the very values it was built on. That evening, he left without saying who he was. But the next morning, everything changed. At headquarters, David called an emergency meeting. Every branch manager, including Victor, was summoned. When they entered and saw David sitting at the head of the table, their faces went pale. He played security footage, Victor's cruelty, Emma's humiliation. Silence filled the room. Then David spoke, his voice steady but cold. "When did kindness become a weakness in this company?" No one answered. Victor was fired on the spot. But David wasn't done. That afternoon, he walked back into the restaurant, this time as himself. Emma froze when she saw him. "Mr. Hall?" she whispered, terrified. David smiled gently and handed her a small white envelope. Her hand shook as she opened it. Inside was a letter confirming full payment for her mother's surgery, and a handwritten note. "For those who lift others even when they're breaking, you deserve someone to lift you too." Tears streamed down Emma's face as applause filled the restaurant. For the first time, she cried not from pain, but from hope. Weeks later, her mother's surgery was successful. Emma stayed at the Silver Spoon, now under new leadership and a new mission to serve food with compassion. David's undercover journey didn't just save one life. It restored the soul of his company. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to HOA Chronicles, where real stories remind the world that empathy still matters. Comment below. Kindness lives if you believe compassion can still change the world.